could buy all the packs. You could buy like.
So you bought it like MetaMask wallet, just regular.
TopShot is on like a different.
It's on a different
blockchain.
thing. That's part of the problem, right? Yeah.
So I wasn't even.
Oh, there's a problem. Hold on.
Whoa!
What did you get off TopShot?
Man, that was kind of my intro to this all TopShot stuff. Built that up, did that big LeBron purchase, and then like got into a whole bunch of other. I mean, now it's that was almost a year ago too. So just like this whole year, just like buying all kinds of crazy stuff.
So you fuck with PFPs?
Yeah, I had an ape. I had
You had an ape?
I had a punk and sold it. That was a huge mistake.
What?
When did you sell it?
When did you have that?
I had probably the worst time. Like
In April?
That had to be the worst
no
deal ever.
No, like right before that crazy run up.
Yeah.
I had one with two friends, and I was like, "Don't sell it." And they're like, "We're gonna sell it." I'm like, all right, fine, sell it. So I think they sold it for 20 ETH.
Oh, wow. No.
NBA, you got like TopShot. That shit is dope because it's paving the way.
Right.
Showing people you can do that shit the way. But like, you got dudes who blood, sweat, and tears, I'll never get a chance to see a check. You know what I mean? Like they got an opportunity to see now. Think about the dudes in the 70s and the 80s who was playing for nothing.
Man.
Now they selling their shits for thousands and $4,000-$5,000 and they ain't seen that off signing no cards, you know what I mean? For the last 10 years, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's like, when do they get a check and what does that check look like? What is the trickle down effect and why can't they just go get their footage and do their own shit?
But they can though.
Can they?
And yeah, like Baron right now could make a selfie
So I'm saying that-
and put it out as an NFT and sell it, or take his old. You can take your Drew League footage.
Yeah,
We need that
look
diamond
what
ring.
you're saying though.
Right.
Look what you're saying though.
What you mean?
You said I can go take a selfie, I can go take my Drew League footage, but why can't I take the footage
Right.
when I hooped?
Right.
Yeah.
The best of my color.
Yeah, that's dope.
Facts.
That's
The best,
dope.
you know what I
What's his
mean?
new going on TopShot for? Where he is
Is that a moment on there?
I have a better
even,
name.
Yeah, it's on there.
It's on there?
I just showed him just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's some type of moment.
Yeah.
But
You
even,
have one?
Even for me, it's like, all right, like I got way more highlights than that. Are people just gonna know me for like this moment, or can I tell people like, yo, I love the pass, I love the league and still, you know what I mean? I don't know way more people than that. And so like, you know what I'm saying? And like, but like think about the legends, you know what I mean? And so like as history, and I'm a big study of history, like history. History is to be preserved, and we're supposed to be, the shepherds of the information and shit like that. And so history is losing its luster, its time. You feel what I'm saying? So the 60s, the 50s, the 70s, even the 80s and the 90s, them shits is like we're going to become dinosaurs in 10 years.
Yeah.
ABA.
Right.
Yeah.
All that, what that meant
You
to
know what
the
I mean?
game.
So the history of the game, and that's what we launching is the History of the Game Museum, right? Is because the history of the game is really supposed to be for the players. You're like, yo, I hooped against J. Kidd and Gary, like Doug hooped against J. Kidd.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Like, damn.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Stockton, I hooped against LeBron.
Sean,
You know what I mean? Like D. Wade.
Yeah.
And so,
And these dudes' kids.
Penny Hardaway, you know what I mean? Sam Cassell.
Yeah.
Shaq.
I feel like they feel the same way. I actually saw like a post on Jason Williams' page.
White chocolate?
Yeah, on his page talking about you.
What?
Like it was a direct, like a dedicated post of him gardening or whatever, and like kind of like doing the shout out to you, talking about how you were like, he was like, ask anybody. He was like, Barron was like one of the best athletes in the
right,
league.
bro.
And it's just cool to hear you say that because it seems like, especially as you guys like get removed from the competitive part of it, it becomes this thing where it's just pure admiration. It's love. It's just like
Roses, because he was, people like look at him, and when you think of Jason Williams, you think white chocolate, but you don't think of him as a point guard, right?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the general public.
And a champion.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a champion.
And
He was the-
time out. And a motherfucking guard who didn't turn the ball over.
He did turn it on.
That is the definition of a point guard.
Right.
You know what I mean? 8 assists, 1 turnover, 7 assists, 1 turnover. Like that shit is like fucking high IQ, high level of thinking, and
Especially
be able
as
to do all
classy
that
as he
shit.
was with the ball
If you
and
don't
all that.
go ahead, bro. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, Hall of Fame.
Right.
Right there, right?
So Baron is doing his Hall of Game, right?
History.
History of the game. History of the game. Right. Bobby has the Atom Bomb Squad.
Killer.
Killing it.
Mike is about to release his own with
I'm gonna drop it on Foundation.
on Foundation.
Alpha Beast Gumbo.
Right.
Yes. Let me get 10 on that.
Okay. So
Let me get 10 with that gumbo.
So I'm wondering, like, we got the Bored Apes and, you know, like other the crypto punks and the TopShot stuff. Like, what do y'all think drives the price or the value of these so-called like blue chip NFTs, right? Because we're all trying to make things that the world looks at as extremely valuable and puts a high price on. You know, what do you think it is about those specific things? Because I don't think the art particularly is that unique or special.
Right.
You know what it is?
You know?
Bro, I've been saying this for literally my whole career. We look at currency, we look at value and shit, and we think like something other than us gave it that value.
Yeah.
Right? So I go back to college.
Right.
I've been knowing kids wearing SBs since high school and we didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I get to college, the tongue get thicker. Now everybody like SBs.
The cool kids in this
No.
space have a lot of Ethereum.
Let me get
Have a lot of things, right?
A lot of Ethereum. So it's not even so much that they're tapping into culture or are aware of artists or brands, right? So that it was a little bit of a different game when it came to like dance and what was coming up in streetwear in Japan and whatnot, because those were largely led by artists.
No.
Really people that are had it here in the street, were sensitive to culture and community. It's a little bit different. It's kind of some of the same principles apply, but a lot of this is pushed and spearheaded and propelled by people who are just Ethereum rich, right? Just, there's a lot of people who are just crypto whales that just are sitting on a ton of Ethereum and Bitcoin from the last 10 years, and they need somewhere to spend it, and they're driving most of the market, and they're driving a lot of blue chip
But
sales.
how do you get to them now?
How do you get to them? Or how do you
Or
get to
are
either?
they finding people, or is it still the same system as like the
There's
VC
still-
system, right?
Yes.
Because people are like, oh, all the VCs is posting so and so, and then the price go up. But it's like, why the VCs fucking dictate?
Because there's still so much insider trading. There's still a lot of
Right.
people behind closed doors. We know what kind of people they are.
Oh yeah,
Let's talk about the
they're jugging this.
Let's talk about the
They
insider
really are.
trading, because what was it, an ape or was it a pump that did the flash sale? Which one was it?
It's a pump.
Was it a pump?
Pump, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 500 million.
It was 500 million. They did a flash sale on that, or they did a flash loan, right?
Themselves, yeah. Flash loan, yeah.
Yeah.
Back
And like,
themselves, yeah.
it's like it's hard for us to.
I mean, the
Right.
most.
So explain that.
Yeah,
What happened?
explain that, Bobby.
I still can't explain it.
Okay, I'll
happened?
try to explain the simple way that I understand it, right? Is that like websites or apps like Celsius or Nexo, you can get a loan on your crypto, right?
Yeah.
Your crypto is effectively a house and you can pull equity out. You can get
Like half of it.
50 or 60% of what your actual value is.
So he bought a crypto pump and then put it up.
So he had, so he had,
and borrowed the money to
or
buy
he
it.
had a friend borrow the money, take the loan out, borrow the money, purchase it, and then place the money back in whatever the account is that they borrowed it from immediately. The flash loan is
Look, I get why it rubs people the wrong way, but it's also
kind of
just
funny.
it's a marketing scheme for the entire ecosystem, and that's gonna happen. If you want people to have raised awareness of punks and apes, which generally trickles down to the larger NFT marketplace, you got to do stunts like that. Marketing is what
I
drives.
mean, they're having
all-
parties where you can't get in unless you have one of these.
We do
pumps.
that all the time. We
Oh no, we're
Can I-
not doing that. No, hey, Bobby. Bobby, rewind.
You can't.
You've been doing that.
I've been doing it.
Yeah.
I've been doing it, but now I can.
Oh,
yeah.
that was the New York thing?
That was New York.
Okay.
You couldn't get in.
Okay.
You used to do that with your
gained-
t-shirts. You used to do that with t-shirts. You could not get in this party unless you had the
It's
t-shirt.
facts. Big
Hey,
facts.
oh yeah, because that was
Big
what I was saying
facts.
about them dunks.
Yeah.
back in the day, right?
Same.
Yeah.
So
You had to know.
when you
Yeah.
stepped on the scene, that was the first like first, I want to say, hybrid community.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, we knew it was people that rode bikes.
Yes.
Kids that skate.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Supreme where they was on some like if you don't even skate, we'll beat your ass.
But now I think the community is a little different because it's not based on the culture in the same way.
This is
Right.
what I was getting to.
Right? It's based off of people who bought each early.
Yeah.
And that's really who's driving it.
Yeah.
And that's the fucked up thing about it for me is because I look at it from an art perspective where I feel like
You just want to appreciate art.
art should drive the market, right?
It should,
or at
yeah.
least like the taste.
Yeah.
And that's not what's
But
driving it.
even in the
But that's never been the case.
it's never been the case.
Right. Yeah.
But we
Art
know,
is in the
we,
eye
like,
of the beholder,
and also the art
They
game.
see money signs.
and let's keep
Like
it stacked.
The blue chip art game is way worse at this
Yeah,
keeping it in just it's certain demographic
Oh, yeah.
that people have access to. They're way worse.
Oh, you know, me and him have been studying this.
It's just all much money.
But everybody in this conversation knows deep down inside the nerds run this shit.
Yes. Oh.
Coders run them shit.
Oh,
Them kids that
yeah.
got money
Yeah.
to stand in line with a tent to buy the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't never stood in line in my life.
Because you're a cool kid.
No, it ain't always been like that.
Access. But at some point, it's gonna matter
That's
where
what
the collection is.
But that's-
And so
that's
the
what
value,
Yes.
the value when culture adapts to crypto
Yes.
and metaverse, then the value chain is going to change.
Right.
Yes.
Right? Because culture has always been the leading, I would say the third in charge over corporate.
Yeah.
When culture takes over DeFi, it's all about the access.
Right. And so that's kind of what I'm
So to the
talking
board,
about.
like to the board A point, it's like you gotta have a board A to get in the board A party. But if the board A party throwing a party here and Bobby throwing a party over here, then either you gotta have a board A or you gotta have a bomb.
Right.
But if
Right.
you have a bomb, the bomb people are gonna be cooler.
But I gotta say.
This is what I'm saying,
At
right?
NFT NYC, there were many NFT project events, and everyone who came to our party or couldn't get in was just like, damn, that was a cool party.
Damn.
Yeah.
But it's not that our NFTs are more expensive than paper or anything,
And
but
it's the
they're like, I
value
need one of these to go to the cool party, to get the cooler merchandise, right?
And that's what's going to sustain over a long period of
A
time.
cooler podcast.
Right.
It's interesting how crypto people really look up to a different subset of people. Like I've seen a lot of lot of projects are paying celebrities, paying kind of like huge mainstream celebrities.
Yeah.
And they don't care, and it's like it's just a different, which I've never seen before. It's like and they look up to like anon people who don't even show their face. No one knows who they are, and just knows like their Twitter handle, and it's like these are kind of the heroes in this space. People follow them. People want to.
Yeah, but I geek out too because it's almost like I become like an art collector. You know what I mean? And it's like, yo, you dropping some shit, and I've been fucking with you from day one. You know what I mean? So it's almost like, damn, that's the day one homie. I got a son of day one homie. I fuck with him, and I've been fucking with this brand and this art. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, like it's another way of when you drop the tee, when you drop the hoodie, when you drop the collabo. Like people who had it, they had it. If you didn't have this shit, you couldn't get in. Right? And so now, like, you get to geek out over people that, and appreciate their art. I buy NFTs because I laugh at, like, the art is the expression, and I laugh at the art. I be buying all kind of random shits. I follow all kind of random people. But what I don't do is, like, be buying directly from people's site. You know what I mean? Because I don't trust nobody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What you mean?
You know how some people got the
Like you can mint on their site?
yeah, like you can mint on their site.
You don't want to connect your
buy it.
wallet to random sites, you're saying?
No, that's my wallet to nobody.
See, this is the thing this is what I want to ask, like to just round out the basis. We talking about collections, but
But you're gonna have to.
when you see somebody collection, it's like when I think about the Source magazine or whatever magazine that was showing off Fat Joe shit back in the day, or then right after that he do a cribs where the nigga lick his Olympic sevens. Where I'm like, all right, we seen that. Now I know what you got. You know what I'm saying? Your stock rose in my eyes, your stock rose. I don't think it's that safe to show off everything you got. I don't think we got the possibilities to be like, all right, somebody can walk up to you, put their phone up to you, now they can see every little thing you hold.
Yeah.
But that's part of the beauty of crypto is that you don't have to show people what you got.
Yeah.
And you can still floss and flex and still get your shit off. You know what I'm saying? I think it's.
But you still ain't really flossing and flexing shit because you like, yo, you got an eight? You're like, yeah, I got one. Show me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, shit,
Yeah, you can't lie.
Yeah, you can.
Well, they said
Big time.
That's the beauty of the blockchain, though. You can go, it's all
Right.
public. You can go, you want to see what I actually have made? You go look at my wallet and you can like see that it's a Bored Ape from that, you know, like from the actual Bored Apes. Like, let's say I say like, oh, I have like these
Right.
Jordans and they could be fake and you know.
Right.
This is like, it's
But how
on
am
the
I
blockchain.
how am I finding you? And then when I meet you, I gotta go in your wallet. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's not really that difficult.
I know it's not difficult, but it's like how did this physical world of, you know, like where we living in right now, like everybody cool, everybody fly, everybody know, you know, Crypto Bros podcast, and we put on some nice shit. You know what I mean? I'm the worst dresser because we have my studio. And everybody, you know, like look, running around, ain't nobody slacking. You know what I mean? But like, if this was the metaverse, what you dragging with you? Yo?
I might be an elephant in the metaverse. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but what you
Straight up.
driving like you coming in?
how important do you think having a roadmap when launching an NFT project actually is?
In the summer, while we were building this project, it started becoming everything because of what the apes were doing, right? And what they were doing was they were just they were comforting their base and saying, hey, look, there's a lot on the way and this is what it is. And so everyone started, and they were committing, they were following through what they were doing. So every project was like, we got to do this. But it was kind of antithetical to how we've always understood to build brands and communities. You don't really want to be doing that, right? There's an element of surprise that people actually enjoy, where there's like, hey, here's a release. Did you know that was coming? No, you know, that's part of the appeal of like hyper strike marketing, right? Nike does it, all the big brands do it. And so to do a roadmap where you're just showing all your cards all the time, it kind of like, for us, it wasn't as fun. It kind of went against a lot of how we've philosophized around like, this is how you build something fun and exciting. It's like showing all the answers to the test before you begin. It's kind of a video game. It's just like, here's all the levels, you're going to do exactly this. It's like you kind of want to play the game, and the fear and the scary part of playing the game is actually what makes it exciting. You know, but it's weird. It's hard to build a brand in this context where you have investors. Essentially, these collectors are invested in your project and they want immediate results, right? Like investors always want that. But people have to remember, even in traditional investments, you got to wait a year for the annual meetings, the shareholders meetings. Like these things take time. But people want to see movements in incremental hours and days.
To the moon.
But like, we not talking about.
And I was just like, dude, when Lambo. As soon as your NFT project drops, that's when the work begins.
Exactly.
So you start building your team at that point, start developing, you hire your coders and engineers, and it's just like
Not before.
You don't. Before you're just building the art, and then you drop it, and then you have to start marketing it, start pumping it, and start fortifying it with PR and all this stuff, right? And the engineers, like that's where all the money goes. It's like supporting the project. Right? Yeah, maybe I'll take one extra vacation next year, but like I'm still here talking about NFTs. I didn't disappear.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
still
like,
here with you.
also we had a revolution. We like at the end of the industrial revolution, like a motherfucker. Like if you don't hold on to your shit,
Yeah.
and you sit here and you really think it's gonna be something that, you know what I'm saying, really tickles your fancy that fast, you're violent. There's people that jumped out of windows for selling shit too early.
Right.
Hey, what you like? Hey, I want to like. Did you like? Do you have different NFT projects in mind that you were building out, or was it always out of them all?
It was always this. Well, we've been doing NFTs since January, and at that time, Gary put us onto punks. He's like, check out the punks, and I was like, this is insane. At the time, they were like $20,000.
Yo, I heard Gary like FaceTime.
Yeah.
Jake Paul and
I heard Gary like. Did you get the Gary FaceTime where you FaceTimed everybody?
He said he's
buys
me, Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, Casey Neistat in a Zoom. I was sitting at dinner. He's like, jump on the Zoom, and it's like 8 of us, and he's like, buy it right now.
And why you call me, bro?
I didn't at that time.
Next time you throw everything.
Good thing they don't know anything about it, because at some point, like, there's gonna be sort of like a push to
They're
regulate it.
gonna need a resupply of finances or something to
Bitcoin at 250,000. They're gonna be like, wow, we've been devaluing our currency. There's all these people with all this money out there. Because I heard at $100,000 Bitcoin. There's 60% of the billionaires are crypto billionaires.
Yeah.
So I've heard that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where that stat comes from, but they're going to try to get it. But the thing is when you are holding your private keys, you're like, no one's getting this shit.
Yeah, no one.
Like they will have to like someone, and you have to be complicit.
Okay, so that's gonna go back to people are gonna start branding themselves and the whole divergence. I mean, just be watching movies. You are saying they are
Right.
No, that's that singularity shit.
Everyone's going anon. Once you're a billionaire, you're anon.
Yeah.
Once you're a billionaire, you're anon. Because here's the thing. Like the thing about crypto too is if someone wants to take it from you, you have to be complicit. Meaning, I know you have $1 zillion in Bitcoin and I want it. If I kill you, I can't go take it. I can't take it.
Yeah.
You know, I need you to tell me the password. So you're gonna be. We gotta do a negotiation.
What's the coin that you made the most off of?
I got Dogecoin
From a
back in
percentage?
2017.
Oh,
That's the coin you made the most off of.
Yeah.
You held it?
Just over Bitcoin and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Are we talking about percentages? Or are we talking about
Cash.
Cash, like
USD.
USD
gains.
USD gains.
We're still
I'm a
doing
Bitcoin
that.
master. So,
Or you can give me
Bitcoin.
both. You can give me USD.
If we talk about percentages, it's Doge.
Okay.
And I bought that as an experiment in 2017. I said, I'm buying 60 coins as an experiment. I researched all of them. I got it all on tape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm just going to hold these shits. Dog, it's crazy to see some $500 investments, what that did.
Yeah.
Just having that
2017.
back then. You know what I mean? So when Doge went crazy, I'm just sitting there like, damn.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wish I would have invested more.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that experiment went well.
Yeah. All right.
I'll say Bitcoin.
Obviously, you're a Bitcoin massive.
But we also talk about percentages, though. Like, Nexo went crazy.
You're an Nexo percentage.
I have an Nexo token that I like. ETH is great, obviously. But yeah, I would say Bitcoin because I kind of look at
Oculus.
Oculus. Recently, Oculus. Yeah. We got, huh?
When'd you get in on that?
Pre-sale. So that's a wave. If you can get on a pre-sale token, that's a wave. It's like getting a.
Explain that real quick.
Yeah, explain that.
So I work in the music business.
We don't care about that part.
No.
It's connected.
Yeah. So Oculus is a music NFT platform.
Right.
And basically, the founders of it felt like there was utility in having my client and I in on it early in order to like build their team. So they gave us a pre-sale token allocation of a really small amount, but prior to the token launching. And there's like a lockup period and stuff, so it's not like it's super liquid. You know, it's over the next 18 months. Are we gonna get kind of?
If you don't mind me asking, what did it launch at?
We bought it at 5 cents, and it's trading for $5.
I know it's trading.
Okay.
Not bad.
Or 6. It was like at 6 at one point.
Yeah,
and so
not
on
bad.
paper, it's like, oh wow, these are really cool paper gains. Our allocation was tiny, just so you know. Like we had $5,000 between myself, my client, and him, because he's out of country. Like this may or may not should go in the podcast. May or may not.
Insider trading.
But honestly, like,
Friends, actually. He told me about he goes back.
First time we sat at dinner, I was like,
American. I said, I can help you.
No, but this is the type of shit. This is the type of shit that, like, to me, the utility in the community is these type of conversations. It's like, what do you know that I don't know? What angle do you have on this? Like, how can I get you involved in this thing? And the reason why I love Web3 is it's not competitive. It's like, dog, if I told you guys about the Oculus shit, I would be like, hey guys, let's all put in $500. He's gonna fucking sign up for it. And then we're like, me and him laugh. We're like, oh, it's going to the moon. Like,
this is where I have to stop the video and explain to people what Web3 is.
$2 cost average your way back.
Oh my God.
One time, I got to
No
go to
chance.
my college, Jason just blew it. You gotta hear this story. It's all good. You gotta hear it.
So You know, Mike loves for me to retell it because it's
No, but it was relative to what Jamal was talking about with the strippers and the Bitcoin because I bet they didn't keep it either.
Nah,
That was my.
a lot of prostitutes were using Bitcoin
yeah.
for Backpage. Not
The
that I
Silk
know,
Road.
but I'm just saying. Nah, I know.
They're gonna be a married man.
I've heard.
They're gonna be a married man on.
Hey, this is my second one too.
Yeah.
Wait, so let's finish the coins that you guys have all got the most gains off of. Yeah, go ahead.
But I was saying, I thought of Opulus, that was cool. But there's another one, Kineko. It's actually it's a decentralized gambling. Same kind of idea. I was in with the group and we got like the pre-sale allocations.
Groups, man.
Groups. DG, Decentral Games. That's my homie's company, and that's been a great. They've grown a lot this year, and that's like an organic project where like you know the people behind it, you know it's a real product. Like I like investing in stuff like that because even though like stuff like Shiv goes crazy, whatever, but it's like, what is that? It's just like a I'm not, which is cool too, but it's just like there's no like I don't know. I personally don't have conviction. I don't know like how you decide like, oh, I'm gonna buy this, but when there's real projects, it's cool to invest because it's like I believe in it.
But I think that's where the road mapping comes in. It provides like a certain confidence to the investor. Like you're very correct on that end, but like there are so many projects that are just like fluff.
Yeah.
It's like okay, you have not to say that you're gonna deliver on all of this planning and all this road mapping, but it's like, oh, you thought about it. This is a longer leading idea, and
well, it's like there's certain like our token for recess for our community. It's like you're buying a piece of that community,
right?
So you're invested with everyone else, and like to me, that's like a kind of project that's like, okay, yeah, it's not like gonna 5,000x overnight, but like you're holding on to something that like you believe in long term, and you believe in the people behind it, and you're part of that community. And like the fluff and stuff, that's fun, that's great, but it's like if you're on the right side of it, it's
Right.
like,
Gotta be on the right side.
Sometimes you just gotta wait.
It's total all day.
FOMOers. Those are the FOMOers that you're speaking of.
Right.
Yeah,
Saying
but they
that panic
fluctuate
sale.
the
That panic sale,
Right.
like when is it gonna go to $1? I'm running 70
Depressed.
cents. Like, they don't have like the.
This is why I always tell people, you got $1,000, break it into 4 parts. So if the price goes down, you'll feel good. You know, 250 and it went down in a week. Yes. Now more again. Yes.
To base on
That's
what you
the best
said,
way.
put some on auto pay where it take like $250
Right.
a month.
That's what dollar cost
And
average
then
is.
don't look
He's
at
like, they're doing it. He's like, they're doing it. He's talking about
Did you start NCA?
Or you started for a year.
Did you start a year? What's the speech?
All right, Bobby, what's your token?
I'm ETH.
ETH?
That part.
Yeah. So you came in at the right time and it worked.
Obviously we're ETH heavy because we're deep into NFTs this year.
If I sold 25,000 NFTs, I love ETH too.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a Bitcoin maxi. Deep down, but this 2020.
25K. Which is new.
Not bad.
You guys broke the 10K.
What's that like?
So what made you check? Okay, so a lot of protocols are 10,000, right? A lot, cool cats and punks and lions.
Ben wanted. So first of all, my partner, the Persian,
the Persian homie,
the Persian Jewish degenerate gambler,
right,
was like, I want to do 100,000. Why do we keep? What is this arbitrary 10,000 number? We're all adhering to it because that's what Larva Labs did with CryptoPunks. So everyone's just following that model. Why can't it be 100,000? And I was just like, whoa, that's just insane on a back end level. So we kept arguing about it all year, and we kind of came to 25,000. We never thought that 25,000 would sell. We really didn't. Yeah. It wasn't structured to support 25,000 in a way. I mean, we knew that we could handle 25,000, but we're like, they're not going to sell.
Yeah.
And we had it planned so that they were going to sell over the course of a week. And it's all written on the website. After 7 days of it being on sale, whatever didn't sell, the bomb, so they were going to start exploding. So we sold like 2,000.
They're going to burn.
Oh, yeah.
They
were going to blow. Yeah, we were going to just burn them.
Yeah.
And then 25. Then they sold out in 40 minutes. And so we were like, oh my God. Okay. Well, now here's another situation where really, as a brand, we've always meant to be inclusive, right? We ride the line of being an exclusive brand where we want people to feel special, but we also want to be as inviting as possible.
Right.
And so the next year, I don't know how long it'll take, but for right now, it's generally affordable still to get in off the floor. We're above floor, but we're like barely hovering above floor on the lower end, and there's some very expensive bombs, but if people want to get in, they can find a way to get in. Not everyone. It's still very expensive. Like every day, I have more comments from people saying, I wish I could get in, I just can't afford it. And that's something that I think we should remind everyone always, is that every NFT on Ethereum is blue chip. It's very expensive.
The gas.
Gas. Let's talk about the gas.
I was saying earlier.
2.0 will fix everything.
Person that was telling me about the regulator, the people who writing the regulator laws are coming to them.
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
What happened?
you got the other side of the world that is mad that crypto causes so much environmental damage.
No, not the other side. People here in our backyard.
Yeah,
that's the big talking point. That caused the crash.
Imagine what
Elon.
So Solana is like the.
We didn't say Elon for a whole hour, guys.
It's like we talk about Solana.
We all deserve one each.
Solana's the one that you really gotta like think about because it causes none of that.
When people talk, yes, exactly. But Solana needs to also get it. Like Solana, Cardano, all of them need to build better.
Yeah, but it's like fucking impossible meat.
Yeah.
It'll never be a fucking 85 Wagyu burger.
Yeah.
So, but it's like what's better for the environment.
Yeah.
It's why there's vegan restaurants that hold a lot of value.
That's why we're moving to 2.0.
Hold on, let's just talk about crypto being better for the environment than fiat.
Right.
But if we could move the same.
All right, fam.
No, but
That's the way go.
But the reason why people buy most fashion clothing today, there's certain dynamics and thoughts around why we do it, right? Like brand association, identity, community, all that. You can do that in the metaverse. We're already doing it with our PFPs and our avatars. Like that's fashion. And so you don't need to wear it on a t-shirt. You can still wear the old t-shirt and still flex your ape in your avatar on Instagram or Twitter, post it up on your
That's what it's gonna matter. It's gonna be like that's
exactly.
What
and like we're more in the metaverse anyways already. We're more on socials, we're more on our Zooms, and if you want your ape to be your face on your Zoom as like an AR thing, like we can do that in there and just wear shitty clothes on the outside because no one really sees us anymore anyways.
And that's what billionaires do anyways. Billionaires also look down, like not down, but
Just down.
They don't care. They don't.
It's Steve Jobs. It's iconic.
I think Nolan just told us something without telling us something.
All about his fit.
The metaverse. And I'll let you say your last piece before you go.
Yes, sir.
On the metaverse.
Metaverse.
Because we've talked about the past, how we got here, what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future.
I don't know, the future for us, we had sandbox meetings today, all our sandbox engineers and developers were working on something, little teaser for Decentraland, but I'm trying to move Fairfax and our neighborhood Rosewood into the metaverse right now and thinking of what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think like that immediate metaverse part of it is going to make sense, the sandbox play for like the next couple years, but I think we're still getting to somewhere, right? I think we're all still like in the process of, in 10 years, we're going to look back and be like, whoa, that was kind of an awkward stage. And, it's like the HTML MySpace era. And we were kind of like doing Ahref links and like trying to figure out coding and whatnot. But in 10 years, I think we're really going to get to an immersive environment where there's going to be no distinction between ourselves here and then ourselves within a Decentraland or a sandbox. It's just all going to be one. Kind of Ready Player One-ish, but I think even more seamless.
Yeah, no, I just showed the homie Ready Player One because I was trying to explain the metaverse to him.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, most of this conversation that people are going to watch is going to go over their heads, but the metaverse really goes over people's heads.
Yeah.
And to the point that the Facebook switched to Meta and their explanation of the metaverse, a lot of people are going to understand it as Facebook is the metaverse.
Right.
And not understanding that they are creating just
That's
a
what
website.
Yeah,
They're creating a website on the internet. And basically, and most people can't really conceive of how that looks or works.
Yeah.
And so we talk about we're early, we're gonna make it, all that stuff. Like we're very early in the understanding of that concept, right?
Yeah.
We got to Bitcoin quickly,
Right.
and that's how we know that we're early.
Right.
And now we're having that same exact experience with the metaverse, and we're about 3 to 4 years from the cycle of the metaverse reaching.
I read a really
platform
good tweet chain. I forgot who it was.
Sean
Curry. Was he saying
Hey.
not about a time?
I was gonna reference mine.
Okay. How did we all say that? That's how smaller episode. There's this guy. His name is Beanie Maxie, and you're like, yeah. But it's like we're already there.